yeah, be a detective of your own mind. That's how I call it. When something triggers you, or you go back to old behavior and you're like, oh my god, I've been doing so great, and then something happens. Sometimes, like, nothing you would really think would trigger you happens, and you're like, okay, why did I go back to an old behavior, and all of that. And just ask yourself questions. Ask yourself, why is this triggering me? Why am I going back to old behavior? Why am I not able to breathe right now? Why do I have a panic attack? Why, XYZ, the symptoms that's happening to you. And yeah, just ask yourself questions about it. And because you have to go back, not go back, but you have to go to the root of why things are happening, and in order to heal. If you don't go back to the root of it, and if you don't, so you won't know, like, the source of what's happening. Maybe you won't exactly remember the specific of the source, but go back to the root and you'll have a feeling of it. Maybe you remember something that was something in your childhood that happened. But go back to the root of it, and you'll discover layers of it and layers of it and layers of it throughout the months and years and weeks. We never know how long it takes. And also, if you don't ask yourself questions, these things will repeat itself, and you won't know why, and it will just repeat and repeat and repeat. And so I came up with that expression about, I don't know, 2-3 years ago. Be a detective of your own mind. That's what I've been doing probably for years and years and years, but like since about 3 years, even more. I was like, okay, take this healing and make it your priority. And it just, for me, like, I'm not an expert, but for me, it really helped me to become a detective of my own mind and to go to the root of things. And it's not nice and shiny. It can be scary, it can be chaotic, it can be hurtful, painful, because you'll remember stuff, like, it's not all gonna be pink and shiny. But boy, is it worth it, and is it good. When you come out of the other way, like come out at the end of the tunnel, if I can say it that way, there's always going to be layers of uncovering until you're old and you're in your grave, like, you're always going to be, that was a little morbid, but all I was saying is, like, throughout your entire life, no matter at what age you start, like, being a detective of your own mind and healing and doing all this stuff, to uncover your true self and who you are and be good in your own skin, you're gonna reach a point where you sort of see the light at the end of the tunnel, and you're gonna be like, I think the initial steps into this journey, that's the hardest part, because that's what hurts the most, because you begin this journey and you start uncovering all these things, and you're like, holy crap. And then at some point you sort of reach a point where you're like, I feel so much better in my own skin. I feel safe in my body, which is your home. And that's a point that is, like, for me at least, when I reach that point, it's amazing. Doesn't mean everything is uncovered, everything is perfect and all of that. There's still layers to uncover, and like I said, probably until the end of your days, you're going to be 80, 90, however old, and still probably going to uncover things, and that's life, and that's being human. But it's the initial steps that are into this journey of the underworld and discovering your shadows, and that is the hardest. And yeah, discovering your shadows and become friends with them and learn to like them and love them and hug them. And yeah, and you'll discover more, and you're gonna learn to love them. And that's the beauty and chaos and of being human. But yeah, I suggest, I don't know, just be a detective of your own mind when something triggers you. And sometimes it's like, I don't know what's the word in English. In French is anodin. It's like, sometimes it could seem meaningless. You're having a conversation with someone, you're laughing, and then you hear a song on the radio, or someone will say a word, and it's a word that is totally fine, but it triggers something in you because of something in your past. Sometimes it will be something really big, and that will trigger you. It's the small things that seems like nothing, and the big things. So ask yourself, why is this triggering me? Why this? Why that? Uncover those layers, and yeah, and you're gonna, yeah. So